going on, YouTube? It is a beautiful Sunday here in southern Utah. My wife decided to go to church, and I wanted to take her bike out for a ride, but it hasn't seen any love in such a long time that it just wouldn't start. And I'm desperately running out of beautiful morning because around 10 or 11 o'clock right now, it gets up to 100 degrees, and I don't really want to ride in that weather. So instead of riding something Italian, we're taking the Superduke, which, you know, I'm not crying about that. There she is. Use traction control to have fun. I've been crazy busy these last couple weeks, so on top of it, the temperatures here were pretty high. So my bike has not seen any love for quite some time either. I tried to have this nice Sunday morning tradition where I go out and grab some coffee with some friends, but all my friends just bought some new dirt toys and they don't ride their bikes anymore. It's their loss because they're missing out on a good time. And I'm determined to start my Sunday with some good coffee. That's if I brought my wallet. Yep, I do have my wallet. Ever get that feeling you leave your house and you're just missing something and you forgot your wallet? And you realize you're sitting on it or holding it in your hand the whole time? Nope, never happened to me. Terrorize some rural neighborhoods. Usually I take a ride out on Desert Parkway, but it gets kind of old. Oh, this shirtless guy carrying all his groceries at once. It is beautiful out right now. It hasn't cooled off for quite some time. Usually during the summer months, unless it's July or August, which today is August 11th. So we've got a couple more of these crazy hot days, and the weather will become a lot more mild. But typically in southern Utah, even if it gets up to 100 degrees in the middle of the day, mornings and evenings are just awesome because you get to enjoy a sub 70 degree weather that feels actually borderline chilly sometimes. Like 70 degrees with no humidity doesn't feel the same way 70 degrees would feel in North. Who is this intelligent person? They have never seen a roundabout before. like these cooler days were just non-existent for the last 2 months almost. So it's nice to have a morning that's not in triple digits right off the bat. Another part of the reason I was going to take my bike, my wife's bike, out for a ride this morning is my blades just expired. They just expired on the 31st of July, so hopefully, I mean, it's never the only reason to pull me over, but hopefully it won't be the reason today. It's hard to see on bike blades anyway. And it's super easy to renew them. I should have just paid it online, but I didn't want to burn valuable time as it keeps getting hotter by the minute right now. I just recently installed a new set of Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3s, and wow, what a difference. This bike feels like it's on rails. OEM Dunlops used to slide quite a bit, and what's even more surprising is when your tire begins to slide in 100+ degree weather where it just doesn't make sense. I rode a lot in the Midwest in cooler temperatures. You know, sometimes you're riding in a 45 degree weather and it doesn't matter until you properly warm up any kind of rubber. You're sliding and slipping into the corners, but when it's 100 degrees and your tire is sliding, you know you've got some quality rubber. But we'll see how long these Rossos last. Most people are telling me that average life expectancy for that tire is no more than 3,000 miles, which I'm okay with. You know, if you get a nice sticky tire, you can't really expect for it to perform like a touring tire. I've researched countless posts on the KTM Superduke communities, and a lot of people swear by the Pirelli Angel ST tires, which I ran on a number of my other bikes before. But I used to commute on my motorcycle, and that's not something I do anymore. Oh, that's Bloomington Golf Course. Beautiful. I no longer commute on my motorcycle, just in real estate, it's not something that's very practical. I often have to be able to bring clients with, and not many of them are crazy enough to ride in the back of my bike. Or, you know, I'm carrying supplies to my listings, listing signs and things like that, which unfortunately motorcycle is not the most suitable mode of transportation. But it allows me to go with softer, nicer tires, which grant your safety. The condition of your brakes and tires can make a huge difference in how safe you are, especially if you tend to push your limits a little bit. So the expense of changing tires every 3,000 miles is totally worth it in my book. Especially if commuting on your bike is not a high priority. You know, you've got other vehicles that you utilize on a daily basis, and this is more of just a treat, Sunday ride, or, you know, going out to blow off some steam. Quality tires is the first mod that I would recommend for most motorcycles. With the exception of a couple of Ducatis, I think most bikes stock do not come with very good rubber. Most of the bikes that I have owned usually come with something so mediocre, not super sticky, not super good for longevity. And I don't know why so many bike manufacturers don't care as much about the rider's safety. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. With a nice set of rubber, you can push your bike a lot harder without sacrificing traction. got a 5.0. I was up north recently in Salt Lake, and one of my good friends allowed me to ride his Triumph Rocket 3. We went up to Alpine Loop, and it's all really tight and super technical. It reminded me a lot of Deal's Gap, you know, Highway 129, the Dragon Tail. Similar super tidy, super technical turns, and on an 800 bike with my wife in the back. Well, not that she added any weight, she weighs 120 pounds, but with her boots on. But it's just the precious cargo, so you tend to do things a lot more careful. But it was quite an experience wrestling a big ass bike into those tight turns. It was awesome. But much more at home in my Superduke. Rocket 3 is a cool bike, but it felt a lot like a crossbreed between my big diesel truck and a motorcycle. It's just nothing quite like it. Can't explain it. Where's this guy going to church? He's got his tie on, white shirt. Oh, you mother lover. The place I'm going to is called Feel Love Coffee. These guys opened up just recently, and their brew is just outstanding. There used to not be that many cool coffee shops in southern Utah, but this area is really changing. We're starting to see a lot more diversity. We're starting to see more good food come in, good coffee. It's beautiful. This is everything that it needed. I still need to set my suspension. It feels a little spongy, but bouncy. Spongy, bouncy. Can it be spongy and bouncy at the same time? I just haven't had time to do anything other than work. With my travel last week, we had to go out of town for 2 days and then another day back to back, and just being out of the office for 3 days kind of set me back into an endless trail of catching up on things. But it's looking much better, so I'll be able to ride more. Well, let's go get some coffee.